Swoosh, dot swoosh, is Nike's attempt at creating sneakers level interest in Web3 as traffic and trade slow for NFTs. Now, that's important. That's the title. You see it over here. And there's a reason I'm talking about the trades and the traffic slowing on marketplaces for NFTs, because Nike made a big acquisition. So let's get into this discussion. And I'm going to be reading from here. If you want to go and read the article, then you can. Or you can simply just listen and we can get through this as quickly as possible. Let's roll. There's a love-hate relationship with Nike's sneakers app. And the interesting thing is, it doesn't matter if you love it or if you hate it. That app generates the type of engagement brands can only dream about. Fans on sneakers will miss out on a product, and the engagement, whether it's negative or not, skyrockets on social media. When fans win kicks on sneakers, the engagement propels to an even higher level. So with Nike, they don't win or lose with sneakers. As bad as people will say that it is, the engagement is positive no matter what. Negative is good and positive is good, because if you're going in and you lose, you're at least interacting with the system, and that's powerful. Now, when you think about it like that, the fact that Nike, in all honesty, as big as their marketing budget is, they don't even have to market, because sneaker blogs all share information about every drop. But Nike still advertises because the brand, the swoosh, wants to stay at the forefront of every thought that a person is having in sneaker culture. So they advertise, they capture all of this traffic from sneaker blogs, and then the sneakers app, at any point, you can get 100,000 people showing up inside of the app. Sneaker Fetish, shout out Sneaker Fetish, love his content. He said yesterday that 150,000 people showed up when Nike did a shock drop of the Air Jordan 11 Cherry, which is crazy because that's the same shoe that was stolen from the container trains here in Memphis, which is getting me off point, but the shoe is already out there and the demand for it is still just as high, even though the shoe got into the marketplace early. But the sneakers app creates this emotionally charged relationship between the fans and between the swoosh. And when I say swoosh, I'm not talking dot swoosh just yet. We're getting there. But the way that app operates gives us a lot of insight into the creation of this dot swoosh domain. When Nike bought Artifact, RTFKT, it was at the tail end of an explosion in trading and buying NFTs. NFT marketplaces appeared to be headed towards a merge into mainstream culture. People were talking about NFTs and they had no idea what they were. But since Nike's acquisition, the marketplace has slowed considerably, and that's an understatement. When I scroll down and get to the data here, you're going to be like, whoa. But that just shows how quickly things in pop culture shift and move. All right. While NFTs are intrinsically tied to crypto because they have to be minted and then the cryptocurrency has to be mined to create ownership, and you need a digital wallet. The unfortunate aspect of NFTs is that they have been connected to get-rich-quick schemes associated with crypto. And that's because in 2020, when Beeple sold his art and he became a millionaire like overnight because of an NFT, that pursuit, that moment turned into a pursuit of cash versus a pursuit of culture. Beeple didn't lead to an interest in art and how art could be really manifested in Web3. It led to people attempting to capture that flame, and that led to oversaturation. So when growth happens quickly, which happened with NFTs and these NFT marketplaces, when growth happens really fast and quickly, early adopters are the people who win. Early adopters. After the early adopters, then it shifts to the larger personalities and then brands. And those are the people that benefit. Smaller players, smaller people, individuals, and artists get pushed to the fringes of these big movements when they start. So what do we have here? We have Nike that acquired Artifact. And at the time that they acquired it in 2021, when Artifact was just nailing it, Artifact could literally generate $3 million in sales in 6 minutes at its peak in 2021. That's not an exaggeration, it's the truth. I have sources at the bottom of this article that you see over here to my side, and you can go down and click on these sources and read this information. The engagement was ridiculous for NFTs. And Artifact, which is the company that Nike purchased, they were also producing a physical product, but that product looked a lot like the Air Force One. So when I saw that from Artifact, and this is long before Nike decided to purchase them, when I saw that, I assumed that Nike would target the company based on trademark infringement and copyrights. But what I failed to consider in 2021 was that the law, as it relates to Web3, and digital art trademarks and copyrights, it's still extremely murky and unclear. It's too new. So instead of a lawsuit coming from Nike, at the end of 2021, Artifact was made an offer for acquisition by Nike. And I wrote about that on the site, so you can read that article. I'm going to open it in a new tab, and I'll show you when I wrote about this, just in case you don't remember it or you don't know what's going on here. I want you to be informed. I also put this down in the description so you guys can sit down and read about that acquisition. All right. So Nike makes this offer at the end of 2021. This is 2022. I know it feels like the whole year is zoomed by and we're already in 2023, but we're not. But we aren't even at the year point of the acquisition of Artifact. And the decline on various NFT marketplaces has been considerable. So why this happened, it can be kind of tied to a lot of different things. All right. The recent crash and burn of FTX, if you don't know about the FTX situation, please take a moment, type it in, because it will blow your mind how much money is going to end up lost. And people are going to go to jail. But the FTX, the Bitcoin trade platform, that's created this kind of distrust of cryptocurrency. And that's led to a decrease in interest around crypto and everything that's involved with it, because people are now gun shy. They're nervous about it, and rightfully so, because FTX was one of the biggest marketplaces. And for the fact that it's looking like it was a scam, let's keep going. It's kind of reasonable to assume that NFTs, which in most cases require you to have Ethereum, and shouldn't be associated with all other forms of Bitcoin other than Ethereum, NFTs are suffering because of things like FTX and distrust and a lack of education. But the slowdown in NFTs also happened as the government stimuluses started to evaporate and the prices of gas started going up. The price of groceries started going up. People started tightening the pockets on discretionary spending. But this is the thing. There's always an element of danger in something so new. And because of like all the excitement around Web3, NFTs, which are really good for artists, man, because if someone sells an NFT, the artist can still earn money on the sales and resale. But unfortunately, because NFTs like crypto were so hyped, NFTs became a part of pump and dump situations. They entered that territory because of all of the excitement around NFTs. So when you get a spike in interest, right, around any type of asset, It could be a playing card or trading card or video game PS5s. Someone is always going to be left holding the expensive bag, especially when the new visitors in that universe start to decline. So what led to Nike launching .swoosh? And you see here it says the home for Nike's virtual collections. This is an extremely important thing, all right? This slowdown of traffic to NFT marketplaces and in NFT trading, it's forcing Nike to become an educator as well as a community creator. So website traffic on two of the most notable NFT marketplaces has just kind of dropped. The bottom is falling out. It's not really, because OpenSea is still doing 30 million visits a month. It's incredible. OpenSea is doing well, but at its height, it was much higher than 30 million visitors a month. Niftygateway, where Artifact did a lot of its damage, and Artifact is the company that Nike purchased. Niftygateway is now down to 350,000 visitors per month. Visitors don't mean a lot to most people. You guys are probably like, yeah, so what? Let's put it in numbers. On Niftygateway, sales right now, according to Statista, are at around $9 million a month. Now, at the height of Niftygateway, during 2021, sales were at $119 million a month. 119 to now being at 9 million. And that a lot of people are on these marketplaces. And this is important stuff, man. I'm trying to explain something and hopefully you're getting it. It's not live, so you can't ask me questions. But this is the thing. One of the most difficult aspects of a new business is bringing new users into a digital ecosystem. And it's really hard because the educational part of it is typically overlooked because there's so much excitement around the money. And as I said earlier, early adopters are often the beneficiaries of new markets. Those people that arrive at the tail end are often caught holding the $5,000 JPEG. And I don't want to be mean, but that's what a lot of people were calling NFTs, just JPEGs. It's a JPEG. I can go and copy and paste it and own it too. But those people who come in the tail end up holding the bag on something that may be $5,000 and then it drops considerably. I'm going to get into some data here. This kind of holding of the expensive bag happens because there's a lack of concise information around the how and why of what is taking place. Let's think about GameStop, right? That GameStop stock rally that just completely shook Wall Street and hedge fund managers to their core. By the time the people who came in at the end of it got on board to take advantage of what basically became a pump and dump, those last people to hit the surf were simply trying to catch a wave, which was already nearing the shore. And if you know anything about surfing, once the wave gets to the shore, the ride's over. It's declining. It's at the end. I think Nike sees the writing on the wall because of everything that's happening around cryptocurrencies and in particular what's happening on NFT marketplaces. And it's clear in the data. All right. So I'm going to show you a chart. And this chart you're looking at over here to my side right now, you're looking at it and I'm sure you're like, well, what does that mean? And well, right here was back in April. So, and this is the Artifact times Nike Monolith that dropped in April, right? At the time that it released, it was selling for 1,438 Ethereum. That's on April 22nd. So that's here. It sold 287 times. I don't even have to do the math on that. If you want to do the math, then you can. But I did put these numbers here so you could see it. 1,438 Ethereum is equivalent to $1,742,568.40. So the Monolith was selling for $1 million. And on April 22nd, there were 287 transactions on the Monolith, the Artifact times Nike Monolith. That's like $500 million on April 22nd. Now, if you look at this chart going down over here, you see where it ends up. November the 15th. So April 22nd, November the 15th, yesterday, I'm doing this video on November the 16th. The same Monolith collection is trading at 1.443 Ethereum with only 6 sales. Now 1.443 Ethereum is now $1,748.70. Somebody spent $1 million, almost $2 million on the Monolith. And now that same Monolith is trading at almost $2,000. That's a really troubling indicator. I don't care who you are. If you're not listening to that part and seeing this chart and saying, ooh, I don't know what's wrong with you. That's ridiculous. Now, you can't prove anything looking at one graph. So let's go to a second graph. In another graph on Niftygateway, the Cryptokick Dunk Genesis, right, shows an incredibly steep drop from $8,000 to $773. I don't know if you saw the documentary Eat the Rich on Netflix. That documentary is about the GameStop rally. And it gives us context and clarity about what happened. That situation with GameStop demanded a discussion because of how the Robinhood app, right, which allowed everyday people to be a part of the stock market. What we learned in that documentary is the company that backs the trades on Robinhood was invested in the hedge fund that shorted GameStop. So a hedge fund shorts GameStop. They're hoping it drops all the way underneath $4 a share, which it was going that direction. GameStop was a terrible company. It was falling apart. They shorted it and they were going to get their money back and sell the shares back to the people that they borrowed them from. But a funny thing happened because of a Reddit thread. And that thread led to everyday investors using the Robinhood app. And they drove the value of GameStop up to over $400 a share. So those guys that were attempting to short lost billions of dollars. This hedge fund was flaming out. But this is the tragic part of it. And I'm like, tragic. The company that was backing the trades for Robinhood was also an investor in the hedge fund. Why am I bringing that up? GameStop is a real business. But that moment created by those Reddit guys and Discord, I guess, if you want to say, these Reddit guys, that moment created by these Reddit guys, it's very similar to how risky markets operate overall. NFTs became a part of the speculative market. And although in this graph underneath that you see here, and you can see that 6,000 people own the Cryptokicks Genesis, even though all of these people own this item, here are the numbers on it. So 7 months ago, Mevin's Business bought it for $8,106. They sold it for $8,293 7 months ago. 23 days ago, the same Dunk Genesis Cryptokicks sold for $773. I need to blow this up. I'm going to drop the picture in so you can see it, because this is the exact same thing that happened to the people who came in at the tail end of GameStop. That exact same thing happened here. And it's going to continue to happen here. So, Swoosh from Nike is course correcting via community. And it's a smart move by Nike to introduce Swoosh now, because this does not bode well for Nike, what's happening on the NFT marketplaces. So Nike's launch of .swoosh is going to be a mirror image of sneakers. I guarantee you. Nike will educate fans on all aspects of Web3 by hosting shows and explaining what a digital wallet is. They will talk about proof of stake versus proof of work and mining Ethereum. Nike's going to create an internal Discord capturing users within their digital eco footprint. While Artifact has long required a marketplace, Nike could potentially move towards accepting Ethereum on its own .swoosh platform or its Nike.com platform. .swoosh is a completely separate entity under its own domain. .swoosh is an extremely important moment. And when people reduce it to a discussion on the platform simply being a virtual showroom, it undersells Nike's potential. I recently talked about a company named Instate. Now, I bring this up because Nike has been losing a lot of people from their tech teams. There's been a defection of a lot of people in the tech department at Nike. Instate has done an amazing job of navigating and creating footwear for Web3. It may not be so far-fetched to predict that Nike might make another acquisition. Am I saying that they're going to get Instate? Maybe. And if that happens, things are going to get really interesting very fast. All right, so that's it. I hope you guys are really understanding where we're going with this discussion. It's an important discussion. And if you want to leave a question and ask, because I know it's not straightforward. It's hard to understand in some instances, but a lot of you guys, younger guys, some of you older guys too, who are involved in cryptocurrencies and NFT marketplaces and Web3, you know what I'm talking about. You get where I'm going here. For all of the sources that helped me to do this post, it's down here at the bottom in the article to your side, and I'll put them in the description as well, so you can go to those from the video if you want to just click through and read about this stuff. It's really interesting. It's a great discussion. Hopefully you'll take the time to check it out. I'll see you guys on the next one. .swoosh is live. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can go to it real quick, and then I'm going to wrap this video up and we'll move on, y'all. So it's a lot to take in. And this is the blog, .swoosh. Like I said, it's becoming their Discord. Now, I think this is on Medium. Yeah, this is on Medium right now. This is going to end up becoming their Discord. And here goes welcome.swoosh.nike. Here's the site. And so right now, all you get is a scroll up. How it works. Create, collect, trade, flex. Unlock. Like I said, it's going to be very similar to sneakers. Build with our community, very similar to Discord. Pull up the Nike events, taking from Web3, from the metaverse into the physical. Dude, this is a big deal. It's a big deal. That's it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully you like that video. Of course, subscribe if you haven't. Start watching some of these longer form videos, man. Start asking questions. I'm trying to give this information and make it a little bit more exciting than just, did the dope shoot for this week, son? I'm not doing that. Not doing that. But I will most definitely dive into more serious details for you. All right? Peace, y'all.